Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we're going to restore a Hot Wheels Redline Splittin image. Now this car is in pretty rough shape. The paint is faded and it's incredibly dirty and there's a lot of toning. The engine that's on there is worn out and chipped and falling apart. Now we could probably use a Molotov chrome pen to fix that up, but it looks pretty worn. The windshield inside there looks pretty bad, so I'm already thinking we're going to have to order some parts. Well, I'm really excited about this one. So let's just go ahead and get started. I've already drilled the car apart, so let's take it apart and let's go ahead and give it a good evaluation here. Got to pop out that engine if the clips are still in place. Now, like I was saying before, it's pretty chipped up and pretty worn out. Yeah, I could probably use the chrome pen to fix that, but nah. The windshield is all scratched up on the inside and on the outside. That looks pretty nasty. The interior is all faded and yellowed and everything, so I'm thinking we're probably going to have to paint that to bring it back to where we need to. The base isn't in too bad a shape. The tires are worn out, so we'll have to replace those, but man, there's an awful lot of oxidation and toning on the bottom here, the base, so we're going to have to fix that. And as you can tell, that body is just faded away. So we're going to have to strip this down and see what we're looking at, but I think we're going to go ahead and paint this up in the Windex blue. We've got a brand new engine already in from the Redline shop. Thank you, John. And we also got a brand new windshield. If you need parts for your Redline restoration, redlineshop.com. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and put the body into the paint stripper and give it a good coat and get it all coated up inside and out. This is especially important if you're going to change the color of the car. You want to make sure you get the inside and the outside. You don't want to have it one color on the outside and look through the plastic on windshield on the inside there and see an orange or something like that. It would just look pretty stupid. So I make sure that I do that. I'm also working on another vehicle here that you'll see in a future video. I think that's about enough. Let's move on. While the body is in the paint stripper, we're going to go ahead and mix up our solution of lime away and water to try and get the toning and the oxidation off the base. So we pour the lime away into the container here. That's all I got left. I have to get to the store and get me some more. And we're going to add some water to come up with an approximate 50-50 mixture. A little bit more, why not? Okay, like I said, the body's in pretty rough shape, so we're just going to go ahead and pop that in there. Now, when you put that body in there, or that base in there, you don't want to let it sit in there for any more than 4 minutes. Now, you're going to have to watch it closely, because if you let it sit too long, it's going to start turning the base black, I promise you, and you don't want that to happen. Now we're going to scrub it down with a wire brush using the solution. Please notice how I'm wearing my rubber gloves, and I'm also wearing my safety glasses. You get that lime away in your eyes, it's not going to feel good. Once we get the extra oxidation off there, and we get it all dried up, then we're going to polish it up with the Dremel and some metal polish, and it'll look great. Look how that turned out.
Several minutes later.
Now that we got the base ready to go here, we're going to try and take off these old tires. Now these axles seem pretty solid, so I didn't think there was going to be any problem removing these old tires. Now I'll collect all these old tires and who knows, I'll wind up selling them on eBay and making a little bit of the money back. They all popped off pretty easy. Now we're going to put the new ones on. I got 2 mediums in the front and 2 large ones in the rear. I also got these tires from the Redline shop, redlineshop.com. Using this little handy dandy tool. Use your thumb to press it on all the way. Be careful when you do that because you don't want to bend the axle. Sometimes you can get that tool in there, sometimes you can't. But that's looking pretty darn good. That base looks brand new. Looking great. Now we're going to spray the interior. Here I'm just using a little bit of Tamiya white primer. Make sure you get all the parts that are going to show. That's looking pretty good. After a little bit of polishing and buffing, man, that thing turned out sweet. I'm very happy with that. We then went ahead and scrubbed it down with a degreaser. Now we're ready for the paint. We're going to use Windex Blue here, which I haven't used yet, and I'm really excited about it. This is where you get that nice mist coat all over the car, on the inside and on the outside. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be notified of any future videos. Make sure you coat the entire car, but again, it needs to be just a mist coat because you want that to start to dry and tack up for you. All right. Now it's time to let that set.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Now that that's set up a bit, let's go ahead and continue on with the other coats. Again, we're going to put a few more light coats on the inside, and then again on the outside. These tack coats are building up small and gradual layers. Now, again, as I've said in prior videos, the more of this Spectraflame paint you put on, the darker it's going to get. So once you get to where you want and you see the color that you like, you need to stop. This is really starting to turn out nice, and man, I love that color. It looks like blue aluminum. It's pretty amazing. Really enjoy working with these Spectraflame products. Check them all out at the Redline shop at redlineshop.com. Let that set for a bit. Now let's go ahead and lay on the final coats. After several coats of misting some layers down, now it's time to saturate it. But you don't want to make it so wet that it's going to run. It'll be trial and error, and you'll have to play with it and see what turns out as you paint. But I keep rotating the car. Keep rotating the car as you paint. You don't want to build up too much paint in one area. Now I'm using approximately between 25 and 30 pounds of pressure on my compressor. And I'm laying it down with this fantastic Pache Talon airbrush. It's a double action airbrush. You put the paint in on the top, and it's what's referred to as a gravity feed. This way here, if you use a gravity feed airbrush, you can mix as much or as little paint as you want to get the desired results. And this works out good, especially if you're gonna later on put on a vinyl roof or something where you only need a little tiny bit of paint. That is looking absolutely beautiful. I am so happy with that. Now that we got all the parts ready to go, I've installed the engine already. Look how nice that looks. Brand new engine. That is pretty. There's the old one. I'm keeping it. I'll keep it in my box of spare parts, but there's the old windshield, and there's the new one. Man, what a big difference. Here's the interior. It used to be all yellowed. Now it's nice and white. There's the base after we wiped it down and polished it up. Brand new sneakers all the way around. This thing is ready to put back together. Now I did do a little detailing on the tail lights, and it looks sweet. And here's what we started with. A very worn out and tired Hot Wheels Redline splitting image. Actually, it's a Splittin image. This was one of the cars I used to play with when I was a kid, and it was pretty popular back then, these concept cars. The paint here was really faded and tired. The engine is all worn out and chipped up. The wheels are all worn out. The base is all toned, and it's just in desperate need of a really good Redline restoration. Now, folks, you can do this. You can build your customs. You can restore these Redlines or the Matchbox cars or Johnny Lightnings or whatever. You can do this. This is what these videos are for, to encourage you to get out there and do these things on your own. Now, you don't have to make a YouTube page, but by learning how to do this and practicing and having fun, you'll be able to have an ultimate, fantastic looking collection that you're proud to show off to your friends and family. And this is what we got to. Look how nice that turned out. Now again, folks, you can do this. Get the parts, get the tools, the paints, go to the Redline shop, go to brightvisionwheels.com and visit Tony's site. He's got the wonderful Nitroflame paints. He also sells the wheels. Now, what's really cool there is these products are made in the United States. They're made in the USA. I thought they were made in China. Man, was I wrong. They're made in the US, which makes it even better. If you have any questions about how to get started or anything like that, I've got a bunch of videos out there. How to select your tools, how to select your airbrush. I got one coming up here pretty quick on how to select a compressor. Follow these videos, folks. It's going to be fantastic. Get started into doing this hobby. It's wonderful. Please like, share, and subscribe my page. Come on back. If you got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. diecastgraveyard@gmail.com. I look forward to your comments and look forward to your questions. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon.